What's going on, everybody? We are back with another one of these bodyslam.net special interviews, and I'm here with my buddy, my friend Colby Corino. What's going on, man?
What's going on, Cass? How are you?
Good, brother. Good as always, man. It's been a hot minute. It's been about what? I haven't seen you in what, a couple month or two?
Yeah, something like that. We usually see each other pretty frequently, though.
Yeah. We've missed each other. I was wanting to write up to that New Jersey show that you did with Sean Henderson to watch George and Jimmy and you and it was you and your aunt, right? Against
Oh yeah, the Kirks.
The Kirks. That's right. Yeah, I was wanting to get up there to do that, but I don't think there was room in the car, so I stayed at the house. But
oh yeah, it seemed pretty packed for the Ducks. It was then Mike and Tim. So
yeah, I was packed. So I was like, I'll get you next time. But yeah, man. So other than that, what's been up? You got a big pay-per-view weekend coming up, and that's really the point of this. So you guys are in what, New Orleans for Hard Times on Saturday?
Yep, and then on Sunday we got the Revolution Rumble with Wildcat Sports, same venue in New Orleans.
That's what's up. That's Luke Hawks' guys, right? That do Wildcat.
Oh yeah,
nice. I like that. That's awesome. Yeah, man. So and you have a pretty big match on Saturday. Davey Richards for the MLW National Openweight title, right?
I know it's real wild to me. That's like a literal dream match for me.
So how did this come about? Did you make the challenge? How did this match happen?
So at NWA 74 in St. Louis, it was my birthday weekend. And as my birthday gift, they let me do a Q&A session with Billy. So me and Billy went with some fans came in and they asked us were able to ask us some questions. And one of the questions that was asked to me was, what would your dream opponent be? And I said Davey Richards because it was, he just happened to be upstairs because NWA brought him in to defend the MLW belt against Silas Mason too. Mm-hmm. So it just seemed like a really possible match that I knew that maybe could happen. And I guess Davey saw the clip of me saying that, and he personally asked Billy to make that match happen, and then MLW allowed it to happen. So thank you to them.
That's awesome. Yeah, man, that's really cool, man. I'm looking forward to that one. What else is what else is on that card? I know it's been an interesting week for NWA news with everything going on with Aldis. So has there been any changes? I've not been actually keeping up with it to what's happened since then.
Yeah. Aldis got taken off the cards for the weekend. I don't think they announced replacement matches quite yet. We got of course the world's title match with Cardona and Tyrus and Trevor Murdoch.
That'll be fun. That'll be
real.
Fun. Who you pulling for?
Oh, I think I'm going to have to pull for my boy Matt Cardona. I thought we had some real positive momentum as a company while he was champion, and it'd be cool to get some of that back. Plus, he never really lost the belt too. So.
He didn't. Yeah, I was at the one in Knoxville, the pay-per-view in Knoxville, when I guess they relinquished the belt, or they stripped him of the belt or whatever. When was that? That was January. What month was that? That was what, 3 months ago? I'm trying to remember.
It June or July.
June or July. Okay.
Before 74.
Nice. Yeah, that was fun too. We got to hang out during that. That was fun. It was a busy weekend. I think I saw you all over the place that weekend.
Oh yeah, it was crazy.
So how long have you been with the NWA?
I've been with NWA for almost a year and a half now.
Year and a half. I was gonna say it's been a little bit, but I wasn't exactly sure how long. Let's talk about that. Like, what drew you to that style of wrestling there? That style of wrestling. What do you think? What are you guys trying to do there? You're trying to do something different. So let's talk about how that's going and what you feel you guys are trying to accomplish there. Because Corrigan's made some interesting comments this week about the NWA style and all that. So let's talk about the NWA style a little bit.
All right. So from the outside looking in, before I started NWA, I was really drawn into it because of the tradition and the history and how much respect they pay to that. Having the same titles that all these legends won is something that it's an opportunity for me to add my name to the history books under those legends and stuff, and that a lot of other companies don't have those title lineages or that history that goes along with it. But then when I started working with the NWA, I really started to vibe with the locker room, and I realized how much I could absorb and learn from all the veterans around me that have been around wrestling for so long. And it's just a cornucopia of knowledge for me that I've just been feasting on for the past year and a half. And I feel like with every time I go to NWA, like I end up getting better the week, like after the whole week's over. And I just enjoy learning about wrestling and getting better. So that's really cool.
That's what's up. Who are some? I mean, we've got who are some of the people that you're like under the learning tree of? There we got. I know Pat Kenny or Simon Diamond, right? And he there.
Oh
Who
yeah,
else? Who are some of the other names other than like the obvious? You get to work with like Ricky Morton and all those guys, but who are some of the other people that have been influencing you since you've been there?
Trevor Murdoch is a very like motivating force for me. Luke Hawks is a real locker room leader there. He's a guy that like I kind of look at as like a wrestler and a father. I'm like, he's a pretty good dude, you know. I have a lot of good feelings towards Luke Hawks. The Pope gives me a lot of good info. There's so many like, of course, I got to mention Homicide. Like I feel like I've learned so much from Homicide, just like fighting with him and working with him for the past couple years. He's had such like an influence on me.
That was the match you had in Knoxville for the belt, right? For the NWA Junior title. You guys had a match at the pay-per-view. Yeah, that was just killer, man. You guys did great.
Oh yeah, he dropped me on my head with that cop killer. It was crazy.
He did. So yeah, what goals do you have that now that you're there? I mean, obviously you want all the gold. You know, you want to win all the titles, but like, what are some things you're trying to accomplish there with your time in the NWA other than just adding some titles to your resume?
Yeah, like you said, obviously I want that junior heavyweight belt, and like I'll get to the world's title eventually, but I feel like there should be a stepping stone. But I want to create a portfolio of just like matches and wrestling and like just memorable moments that 15 to 20 years from now that people like me that like go back and watch wrestling from 15, 20 years ago that maybe wasn't the mainstream. Oh, excuse me. 15, 20 years ago that it wasn't exactly the mainstream. Like I also want to make work that's good enough that inspires people to go back and study all that stuff and watch it or just to watch it because it's entertaining and memorable, you know?
Yeah, no, I definitely know what you mean. I watch more old wrestling than I do current wrestling, honestly. Every night I pop on something old on my TV to watch from like 90s, 80s, whatever, you know. So I get it for sure. That kind of leads me to this. You grew up in a wrestling family. So like what's it like? What's that like? I mean, your dad is a famous wrestler. I mean, do you have any stories, memories from a kid of him? Like, what do you remember from that? Like, because he's been wrestling your whole life, so I'm sure you've got some good memories and good stories you've gathered from over the years there.
Oh, no doubt. Like, to me, it was all normal. Like, I didn't really have like anything else to compare it to. I didn't have a ton of friends that like I hung out with or anything. Like, so like, it just the wrestling world was my normal life and it was my normal world. But like, I guess like the one memory I can point to that's kind of like, oh, like I definitely grew up a different way was that like whenever my dad would bleed in his matches, which was pretty frequently,
All the time, yeah.
and I was there, he would come back and like I wouldn't be scared, I wouldn't be freaking out or nothing that my dad was hurt. I would wipe off all the blood. I'd put the band-aids on him wherever he was cut on his forehead or his arm or whatever, and it was just like, oh yeah, like my dad bleeds for a living, like so. And that was kind
You went around often then with him on shows when you were a kid, right? You
oh yeah,
on the
100%.
road all the time. What were some of the like biggest shows that you remember going to that like stand out in your mind now that you realize were like you might not realize were that big at the time, but now you're like, oh shit, I was at that, you know?
Probably all the stuff in Japan, honestly. Like seeing
Oh
like
shit.
all the legends that like that I interacted with in Japan. Like I don't know if you ever saw the video of me punching out Masato Tanaka and Otani when I was like 6 years old in
I did
zero.
not.
Yeah,
Oh, I'm
like
gonna have to look that up as soon as we get out of here.
it's crazy. Like I guess I was just a little upset that my dad got beat up by these two Japanese guys. So after the match, after he got pinned, I slid in and I punched Masato Tanaka and he bumped for me. And then Otani fed in, I punched him, he bumped too, and I chased him to the back. And it was like, it was completely unplanned. It was completely like oh, dude, I was just reacting, but it was wild.
That's amazing. I was about to ask, like, did you talk about this at all, or it was just
Oh,
like you were just in, and then they just knew what to do and
yeah,
just ate
no.
it up?
100%. Like it was not cold at all. But my dad thought he was gonna get fired or something when he got to the back, or like he thought he was in so much trouble. But like everyone was so like they loved it. Everyone was just laughing at us, and they thought it
Oh,
was.
that's at this point. Did you know like that it was what was going on, or were you still like it's still real at that point to you?
I think I did know because like I don't quite remember it all because I was young. But my
Yeah.
dad always tells me that after like he asked me like why did you do it, Colby? And I looked at him and 6-year-old Colby goes, well, he gave me the eye.
Yes, dude, that's great. That's a great story. It's one of my favorites I've heard. I love that. I didn't realize now that you even went over there and did all that when you were that little. That's awesome, man.
Oh yeah, I've been to Japan like 4 times. I've been to England, Germany, Wales, Finland, France, Amsterdam, but just in the airport.
Yeah, you definitely didn't grow up a normal life. This is compared to the rest of us. Then,
But I
obviously,
thought I did. I thought I did.
yeah, that's great, man. You started wrestling early too. How old were you? Like 15,
You
16?
Yeah, so you can go on my cage match and you can find matches I had when I was 4. But
Yeah.
what I consider my first match, where like I actually like planned spots and was like an active participant in it, and not just like a sideshow to be worked around. I said that my first match was when I was 12 in December 2008. So,
Wow. Where was that and who was it against?
it was in some small town in South Jersey, and
Okay.
I wrestled. I can't remember what the one dude's name was, but the other guy was named the Cremator, and he was a somewhat tall dude, like 6'1", and he wore a Michael Myers mask and
Oh,
jumpsuit.
I was gonna say that's a super good indie gimmick, the Cremator.
Oh yeah, but
That's awesome.
he was definitely an all-time great.
That's man, yeah. You see what's crazy to me is like you've been wrestling for so long that I realize that you're still young, man. Like it's crazy to me. You're what 20, mid 20s, right?
26.
26. See, yeah, you're still mid 20s, but you've been wrestling for what now? Like that's you said 14 or 12. That's 14 years, 12 years. That's crazy, man.
Oh, almost 14. Holy hell!
Yeah, like doing that math, that's insane. And
I've
that
been
boy,
13.
yeah,
Oh hell!
yeah, dude, that's pretty impressive, man. And like, I remember you from that. That's what's because I remember you here in North Carolina all the time. 'Cause that's where I'm from, and you were around here all the time. So like to me, it just seems like you've been around forever because I've seen you for so long here on this circuit, man. It's crazy. So growing up in like you've been indie wrestling all your life. Do you still talk to your dad about like advice and stuff, or is it just pretty much like you've absorbed all that knowledge by this point?
No, 100%. I still send him all my matches and stuff, and he doesn't watch them all. Even though I like this past weekend, I went to his house and I don't get to see him very often. But I was like, I got all these matches I need to show you. I need your opinions on them right now, and you're not going anywhere because you ain't got nothing to do, and you're gonna sit here.
That's cool, man. Uh, what's some of the best advice he gave you going into the wrestling? Since obviously you knew that you were born into this, so like, what was some of the best advice he gave you, like setting you out to be a professional wrestler?
Whew. Uh, that's tough because like a lot of I'm not gonna lie, like I wasn't like trained by my dad or anything. He had me trained by his friend Mike Keener, and
Mhm.
like I've always gotten like advice from my dad, but like I always feel like it's not 100% from the coach's mindset that the people at NXT get, because they don't like, I'm his son, and he always
Yeah,
got that sun veil over him that maybe I feel like that I'm a little better than he would like to say. He doesn't want to be as mean as he would let
yeah.
as he to someone else. But I think I think the best like advice is just how to tell a story and how to properly work with a crowd, and that like it can't be just pinpointed to one little like a line that he said or anything, but it's because it's just like it's so much intricacies.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I know what you mean, and that's something that he was very good at. It was engaging with the crowd, controlling the crowd, and just made him stand apart from a lot of the other people that you would see on the show. And you got the same thing, man. Like I love watching you work the crowd and get out there and just like and it's fun, man. So yeah, if anybody hasn't seen Colby live, you should do it. It's a good time. Now there's a match I want to talk about that I want to talk about this George South Death match last year at WrestleCade because
Oh,
oh man, that's been one of my favorite matches I've ever seen in life, in person, in real life. And I've seen a lot of wrestling, man. So that match, let's talk about that. Tell me about that match. Now, was that your idea?
100%. And it was actually just like told as a locker room joke. Like I was sitting, so George was sitting over in a different locker room, and the one locker room that I was in, it was like me and the Dawson brothers. And I was like, it'd be funny if I asked George to have a death match with me. And they're like, oh, haha, go do it, go do it. So like a few other people heard what I was talking about, and they all followed me to George's locker room. And it must have been such a funny visual, just like this crowd of people, of like 10 people following me to go hear George's reaction to me asking this question. And I was like, "Hey George, do you want to do a death match with me?" And he goes, "Well, buddy, if we build to it." And I was like, "Oh, okay." And like I thought for a solid month or two, I thought he was just joking with me. And like every time I would reference it, he would just give me some answer that's like, "Oh yeah, we're gonna do it, buddy. We're gonna get there." And I always thought it was a joke. And then like we really started like pulling toward it. He was like, "Mm." And the line that he said to me was, what was it exactly? I don't want to mess it up.
Yeah.
He told me, I was like, "George, are we really going to do this?" And he said, "Buddy, as long as the art is good, it don't matter what we're painting with."
That's one of the most George South things I've ever heard.
And after that, I knew he was 100% down, and that like he was serious about it.
He did so good, and look at what's happened since, man. Look at
look
at the monster you created.
First with Effie, and then Jimmy Lloyd, and now Nick Gage. He's calling out the king, bro.
Are you going to be there to watch that? That was where I was going next. Are you going to be
100%. I'm
I'll
also
be there too.
But I told AML specifically to please put my match before theirs because I need to give that match my full attention.
Yeah, that's awesome. I'll be there too all weekend, of course. But I was wondering if I was going to see you for that. Mike will be there too. It's a big weekend for this house, man.
Oh yeah.
But dude, yeah, that match it started something. As soon as I watched it, I was like, this is something I never knew I wanted, and now I can't get enough of. I need to see more of George South in death matches, and dude, you've done that. You made it happen. That kind of brings me to that Sean Henderson show because that was the match that I couldn't believe I saw on that, and you pretty much put that show together, right? That what was it called? Black? Was it Black something or was it
Painted Black?
Painted Black. Yeah, okay. How did you book that show with Sean, or how'd that work exactly?
Yeah, like it was mostly me, and then Sean had like of course had to say because it was his show. So,
yeah,
but it was very he wanted to make sure that it was a very Colby Corino feeling show. So I had a lot of creative control in it. I do have to admit though, the loser gets sent back in time match was not my idea. That was Sean's idea, and it was an amazing idea. We had to do it once I heard that.
That was such a good. That just was it last week that it came out on Fight TV finally. I think.
Yeah,
IWTV or whichever one it was. Yeah.
But unfortunately, one of the production members got COVID. That would be the live editor for it. So we did not have one. Then we tried to find one, and then we did find a live editor, and then they didn't have the right equipment on the day of, and then it was big.
Yeah. Either way, it's up now, and everybody can enjoy it on IWTV.
Just go watch it. Yeah. Forget all about that drama.
You should. It's incredible, man. Like that really was how fun was that watching your brainchild come to life there in front of you, because that was a hell of a show, man. I enjoyed the hell.
Oh yeah, like that wasn't my first like show, the Colby Corino show that I've run, but that was the first one I think I've really got to be able to sit back and enjoy and not be super worried. Like my match with my aunt and the Kirks, like I felt super confident and safe with that, and just that we weren't going to be going out there and having the 5-star classic. We were going out there and going to put on an entertaining match. And so I feel like that kind of like took a lot of pressure off me, and I was able to enjoy, sorry. Got a little there.
No worries.
And I got to enjoy a lot more of the show than I usually would. And George and Jimmy ended up being one of my favorite matches of the year, which is crazy because I specifically asked George not to do a death match. And this crazy SOB goes out there and is using tubes and barbed wire, and oh my goodness,
dude, he's embraced it. It's amazing to me just to see this be just this second coming of George South as a deathmatch wrestler. To me is one of my favorite things ever.
It's great.
I love it so much.
He might be the GCW champion at the end of the month.
That promo, man, that was awesome. I'm waiting for Nick's response. I don't think we've got that yet, but
you gotta get George on here, but I don't know if his Luthez phone will be able.
That's what I was gonna say. Dude, they have a flip phone. I was saying somebody's got to show him how to use a computer, buddy. Okay.
You can call me, and I'll call George, and I'll put it up to the camera.
We'll figure something out. I'll just do an interview there with him, like at
Yeah, I
WrestleCade.
guess
I'll
we
just
can
do
do
it.
that.
We'll just do it there. We'll just me and you will sit down, and me, you, and Mike will sit down. The four of us will have a conversation. That's all I really want to
Oh
happen.
my goodness, that sounds like content right there,
Doesn't it? Just to get him telling stories. Oh my god! And you guys asking, dude, you guys would definitely be able to prime him up to another level. That would be the best thing for anybody to see. We're gonna make that happen at WrestleCade. I've already decided that now. But one thing I wanted to ask you, try to bring this back here, is you're being a wrestler. You travel all over the time, and now you're a dad. How do you balance that out? Like, that's got to be pretty difficult to figure out how to do all that. 'Cause you guys
Well,
see, man, I saw the man right there.
it's for him to just saunter in and make an appearance.
Yeah,
Actually,
like we
but,
planned it.
Yeah. Take your bikini out for the camera. But
Yeah. What's up, buddy?
it's pretty cool, man. Like
Yeah.
My wife works during the week, so I'm like the stay-at-home dad, and so I get to spend a lot of time with him. Do you like it?
Yeah, I can see it. Look at you guys. That's right. I can see it right here in your eyes, man. You two have the same eyes, bro.
Oh yeah, it's the Corino eyes. My dad's got them.
Yeah, that's awesome. But no, I was wondering how that was going because like I see you guys, I see you, and I see your wife, or on the weekends. Some I see you both, but I haven't seen him yet. So it was good to little man. Yeah, what's up, buddy? What you got?
They talk.
Yeah, we're talking. We're talking to Cass.
Oh,
It's all right. What you got? What's up, buddy? How you doing?
hi.
Hi. How old are you?
A while.
Tell everybody how old you are.
How are you?
I 3.
Oh, he actually is 3. I think that's the first.
Wow, good job, man. Look at that.
I'm glad we got that on camera.
Man, and we got his first ever interview spot too.
Oh yeah, this is definitely earlier than. Actually, no, I was definitely on some of those RF video shoots at this age.
Gotcha. I forgot about those. Well, man, yeah. So big weekend for you, brother. I'm glad you got a chance to sit down and talk with me about it. It's one of those. I wish I could be there, man. Wish I could be there to watch that live, but that's a little far for me to get to New Orleans this weekend.
Yeah, it's a bit of a hike from North Carolina.
It is. So other than that, what else you got coming up? You've got that big NWA weekend this weekend, and what else is in the leading up before you go to WrestleCade?
Next weekend, the weekend after NWA, I'm going to Tennessee for ICW. Going to do the Pit Fighter, maybe step into the cage as well.
Is that in Chattanooga or is that Nashville?
Yeah. Over at the TWE building. So get to hang out with Jaden and stuff.
And that's the 20th or something like that, I think. Is that right?
18th and 19th. 18th Pit Fighter, 19th is the No Holds Barred.
Okay.
Or the Change.
That's what's up. Man, I didn't know you were going to that. That'll be fun. Who do you you know who you work? Do you know who you're wrestling?
I'm wrestling Akira in the Pit Fighter.
Oh my guy, that's my dude too. So that's gonna be fun as hell, man. I can't wait to see that.
We got to have one match before a Catalyst, but that was in New York, and so New York kind of has all those lame restrictions.
Yeah, you can't.
He ain't got no restrictions, baby.
Tennessee's got nothing. Yeah, it's wide open down there. So that's what's up. And you're doing WrestleCade weekend at the end of the month, and I guess that's about it for November, probably, right?
Yep. And then the weekend after that, I got some Sean Henderson show. I think I'm wrestling Dylan McKay. And then I think we're going right into NWA tapings after that.
Man, that's what's up, dude. Busy.
Busy
for the rest of the year, man. I love to see it, man. Well, buddy, if there's anything, tell everybody where to find your stuff, where to find you on social media, push yourself, let everybody know how to get a hold of you and all that. And we'll let you get back to hanging out with the fam.
All righty. So here's my spiel. Find me on Twitter at Colby Corino. Find me at Instagram at Colby.Corino because some little girl got Colby Corino and is inactive on there. So I got to do something about that. I ain't got the TikTok, but I got the pro wrestling tees, prowrestlingtees.com/Colby Corino. Buy some t-shirts and stuff. And so in December, on December 1st on IWTV, my Life of documentary is dropping. So if you're a fan.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Those are good. I didn't know you did one of those, man.
Oh, yeah. And not only that, but it's a 2-parter episode.
I bet a lot of stuff with Little Man there, I bet, huh?
Oh, yeah. He was telling me to be quiet. I guess I was getting too excited.
You can't get loud. You get too loud, Dad. Bring it down.
Too hype about my documentary.
That's awesome. Hell yeah, buddy. Well, thanks for doing this with me, man. I can't wait to see you soon, and we'll do more
Thank
stuff
you.
at WrestleCade. We're gonna do that. We're gonna do that panel. Me, you, Mike, and George. It's gonna be
Dude,
incredible.
we spoke it. Now we have to.
Oh yeah, I think I got a table. I think Tracy got me a table. So if it's too loud there, we'll just go somewhere else and do it. But we'll make it happen.
Amazing. I'm looking forward to this.
Well, man, thanks again, brother. I can't wait to see you in a couple weeks. Good luck this weekend. I'll be watching and pulling for you, man. Kill it. And,
Hell yeah.
Yeah, man. Can't wait to see you then, brother. Well, thanks again. This has been Cassidy Haynes with Colby Corino for bodyslam.net. And